What's going on? Welcome back to the channel. So today we're going to talk to you about SoundHound. I want to go over some of the current data points, break it down on what's really moving it, and go over everything else you need to know. But first, make sure to hit that thumbs up. And with that, let's get right to it. So SoundHound is up 1.16%, 1573 the low, 1649 the high, and a lot of good volume. So 38 million shares being traded, 50 is the average. There's a couple different attributing factors why SoundHound and the broader market is really moving higher. And one is because of CPI. So month over month, it was flat at the 0.2. Year over year, it did come in better than the consensus. So came in at 2.7 versus 2.8. And why all of this data actually matters is it's data from July. And this is something that Powell has been really stating, that Trump's tariffs is going to cause a increase in tariffs. And so this right here kind of proves otherwise. And that's one thing that Powell has been very much holding on to as a primary reason why he hasn't been cutting rates. So this does further validate a rate cut. So for the September 17th meeting, now you have a 94.4% likelihood of a 25 basis point cut. And for the October 29th meeting, you have a 60.5% likelihood of a following 25 basis point cut. In my opinion, I think between the two meetings, the market truly wants a 75 overall. So we'll have to wait and see how that all plays out. But nonetheless, the market is loving this data. Specific to SoundHound though, they did actually get one new analyst rating, and it came in at $17 right over here. So $17 price target, and that was done by OpenAI. So this is a interesting firm that maybe just got recognized by TipRanks or whatever else, but Ivy, who has a 45% success rating. So pretty good stuff if you ask me. At the same time, we also did see shorts be somewhat hesitant yesterday, and even that's flowing into today. So right now, shorts are returning 2.34 million shares, 32.7% of the free floats being shorted, works out to be 119.6 million shares overall being shorted. As I mentioned in my video yesterday, even DTC is very high at 3.05 days. So that does signal that shorts are overextended. So in my opinion, the logical thing for them to do is to continue to return over the next little bit. Unfortunately, that won't really prompt a crazy squeeze unless SoundHound does put out like a good catalyst to cause the stock price to aggressively go higher. But them returning, I think it's still a win is a win in my opinion. But aside from all of that fun stuff, looking at the options, 14 million in calls, 2.3 million in puts, 47% of all the options being done are bearish in nature. So even though technically SoundHound's showing a lot of good strength over the last couple of trading days, you are seeing big money clearly anticipating some level of consolidation. So just be aware of that. That's if you like to kind of analyze options as much as me. From a bull standpoint, you see a consensus for it to be roughly around that $17 range, $17 to $17.50 by the end of this week. Bears are anticipating for it to be sub pretty much 15. So given everything, there is a little bit more upside still anticipated. And as of right now, these are all the transactions occurring on the secondary market above $100,000. So you have a lot of good buys, a couple pockets of selling, which is adding to the volatility. But nonetheless, I think overall, big money is really buying into SoundHound. Dark pool, same kind of thing. No substantial transactions above 1 million on a side note though. So again, something just to actually, 1.05 million. So I spoke prematurely there. But aside from that though, with it at 1607, it is trading currently between this R3 and this R2. So 1516 is going to be that next strong support. I don't really see that being touched this week. Possibly on Friday if we do have really negative Michigan consumer sentiment and also retail sales. But aside from that, I think just SoundHound is waiting for the next big thing to and justify for it to really get above this R3. So 1671 is going to be that next strong target / resistance. And aside from this one new rating, there hasn't been any news from SoundHound, no articles. There was this S8 that did come out. That was after hours yesterday. So they're just registering some stock for the employee share plan, which technically is not new information. It was already voted on based on the last shareholder meeting. So nothing really crazy. So this came out at 5/16. So yeah, let me know your general thoughts on that. They also did submit their 10Q after hours yesterday. I haven't had a chance to really dive deep into that yet because I always like to read the footnotes just to see if any companies are giving some Easter eggs or some red flags. So I'll do a follow-up video possibly possibly tomorrow or the following day, all about that. So go over the good, the bad, and the ugly. But aside from all that fun stuff on the actual charts, things are looking pretty okay. There's not really much negatives to bring up. 1330 is at ALMA, so it does signal that SoundHound really wants to continue to move higher above all the key pivotal moving averages. You have algorithmic trading really working on your side as well. Only negative is that it is getting a little bit overbought. And this is something I actually mentioned in my video yesterday, is that if it gets to roughly around that $16 range, then it'll be considered somewhat overbought. And lo and behold, that's kind of what happened. So what that means is the first sign of weakness, whether it be specific to SoundHound or the broader market, you could see a little bit of a consolidation. Options are kind of signaling that as well, that there's going to be some level of consolidation, which in reality is normal. That's very healthy for the stock to have down days. Consolidation makes stronger support levels, in my opinion. So yeah, even if that does happen, let's say tomorrow, it's not really the end of the world ultimately, because SoundHound has made a lot of good improvement. Their last earnings absolutely phenomenal, and so even over the last 5 days, it is up 46.94%. So round of applause to anyone who did buy the dip when there was a hell of a lot of fear, when it was around that $10-11 range and whatever else. So yeah, let me know your thoughts on SoundHound. What's your viewpoint on shorts returning? Do you think they are going to continue, or is this just more of a 2-day kind of period that they're mitigating risk and that they'll double down the rest of the week? What's your overall thoughts on all that? Don't forget to hit that thumbs up and subscribe. I always greatly appreciate that. And then one final thing, pop over to my Patreon. I do give buy signals on stocks, options, crypto, many of which have been absolutely on point and bangers. Definitely worthwhile to pop over there and take a look. Link in the description below and also the comments. With all that said, appreciate all of you watching.